With our flexible content blocks, they are made up of the same pieces that we can rearrange and put in different orders. So we'll start with this header. And this header, it stays the same from Hong Kong to Iceland to Bali, West Coast USA and Mauritius. Where you got the same structure and things going on. The only thing that's changing is the data itself. So what the image is, what the title is, what the date is, and so on. So how will we approach this from a sort of component view? Well, we would do it like this. So it's made up of a few different pieces. We have a header image, a date, title, subhead, and intro. Now you might be thinking we already have some of these bits of data available to us. So we've already got a title, we've already got ourselves a subhead, a date, and so on. So there's not much we really need to do to add. We just need to add a bit of intro text. And the rest of it we can share between our components. So let's go into the dashboard and add ourselves a new flexible content block. Now for this stage you need to follow very closely because the interface gets a little bit confusing. It's one way to put it. Because there's just lots and lots of boxes. So far we have our hero image, we have our subhead and our date. And we're going to add a new field now, and we are going to call this content. The field type, now you see we get a bunch of new field types here. We're going to call it flexible content. And what this lets us do is to add these layouts. So layouts are essentially components and they are made up of individual fields. So with our layout, we need to give it a name. Our name is going to be header. And the field that we're going to add here is going to be we can call it header intro. So to be nice and clear about where this is on the page, we'll call it header intro. Now, that's all we need to add because the rest of this stuff we already have in our data. We don't need to repeat ourselves and be duplicating things. So we can leave that all as it is. One thing we want to change, just further down the page here, is where it says add row, we are going to call this add component. And when that's all done, we'll click update. And that has updated. So to actually see what this has done, if you go to posts and then we'll edit Hong Kong, we'll sort of use Hong Kong as our example one. You can see we have this new block down the bottom here called content. And it says click the add component button below to start creating your layout. So if we click add component, we now have this header option. So in there we can add our intro text for our header. So if we grab that from our Figma documentation, we have this bit of text here. And I'm going to paste that in there. So underneath the glass and steel of Hong Kong's commercial persona, so on and so forth. Let's update that. So to just jump into the step 2, the next component that we have, if we take a bit of a bird's eye view now of all of our pages, you can see interspersed among all these images, we have these text blocks. And we're going to treat those as components as well. I think I've done something funny to my layout here, but that's okay. And the structure for that is going to be very, very simple. So our text blocks, they're going to be their own layout, as they call them in advanced custom fields. We'll call them components. It's going to be made up of a text content field. So going into the dashboard, custom fields, we're going to edit our location fields again, go into content, and where we have this part here where it says layout, we are going to add a new one. So this is where it gets a little bit fiddly, so make sure you follow along closely, and you can see we've now got a new layout. So this, we will call it a text block. And with this, we're going to have some text content. With the text content, we want to be able to edit it so it can have various different styles. So you can see down here, we have a sort of almost block quoted text. I think on Bali, sorry, on Hong Kong, we have a block quote there. We also have headings and different font styles. So this isn't just going to be a string of text. Instead, we are going to make it a WYSIWYG editor. So that edit screen that you're used to when you add a new post in WordPress, we'll get the same thing here. Now with this show media upload buttons, we're going to toggle that off. We want this to be text only. And that is all we need. So we can update that now. And we should have our text component available to us when we go and add a post. So if we go to all posts now, let's go back into Hong Kong. We've got our header intro in there, but we can add a new component. So let's add a text block, and we get an editor up here, and let's grab a bit of text from the page. So we'll grab this, and I'm going to paste this into my editor first, just to make sure there's no formatting on it from Figma. We'll put that in there, and we're also going to put the title in at the top as well. So I'm just going to make sure Hong Kong is capitalized, and that is going to go just above in there. Now with this, we get the WYSIWYG editor. We're going to make this a heading 3, a H3 tag. And what's cool is we can now take these blocks, if we minimize them, and rearrange them. So we can put the text block on top, we can put the header on top. And this is the very powerful feature of our flexible content. So the idea is we're going to be building up these blocks of content and rearranging them different ways to suit the content that we have in our design. So let's update this. So it's saved into our database. And what we'll do in the next video is to look at how we can actually add this into our theme and how that works.